also like to thank these incredible people. I have the privilege of working with these people from anywhere from 3 years to over a decade. And without them, I would not be able to do this conference. And they are Fabian Rodriguez, Olivia Newman, Dakota D'Amato, and Abby Sokol. Please make sure to thank them. Thank them for everything that they've done to make this happen. Additionally, I'd love, and our interns, of course, yes. This week would not run without these incredible humans. If you see them with their snazzy buttons, please don't hesitate to stop them and ask them any questions as well. And we thank them for their time and energy this week. I would also like to thank our incredible sponsors. MTI, NYU Steinhardt Program in Educational Theater, Emerson College, Curate, TNG Musicals, Dramatic Publishing, Ludus, Stories That Soar, Songs Children Sing, and Jugando and Play. And I look forward to having a wonderful week with you all. Please don't hesitate to stop me for anything, conversation, questions. I look forward to it. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Fabian, our Development and Marketing Manager.
Hi everyone, Fabian again, and I'm here to do the fundraising. So, it's been nice to see familiar faces and meet new people. I'm glad that you all are here. Thank you for supporting AATE. And like many of you, I'm a theater maker, arts advocate. I have found my voice, my people, and my purpose through theater and theater education. At AATE, we believe in the power of storytelling to build empathy, amplify marginalized voices, and create lasting change in classrooms and communities across the country. Every year, we support educators, artists, and students who are using theater to imagine a better world. But as you know, we can't do this alone, and that's where you come in and your networks come in. And this year, we have created various ways that you can help support AATE. One is our 50-50 raffle. And with this, you are in on the prize as well. As much money goes in, you get 50% of the profit. So we have the QR code there. Also, you can text AATE Rally to 33100. So go in, you can buy some tickets into your name and potentially win big, who knows? And then we also have double good popcorn. So if holidays are coming up soon, even though it's almost, summer's still here, but you can never plan ahead, So also popcorn. We have great popcorn flavors. People seem to really love the popcorn. I haven't had any. So if you want to buy some and send it to me, that's fine too. And then we have candy, so food options. We got some candy similar. So anything that you guys purchase, we also get a portion of that profit, and it's a big help. We do a lot of programs. We offer scholarships to students and faculty members, to get the experience that they need. And then we also, our Playwrights for Change Festival, we have started to, try to pay actors, and this money that we raise helps pay actors so we can get the stories told and people can see the work that they do. And then also one thing, if you can't support, we also have general donations. So if you just want to be kind and give us 100% of your money, right there. But also if you don't have, the capability to support, it's a tough time in the world and society and all that. We also, your networks, think about who could help us, your friends, your colleagues, maybe, some people that work in banks or finance offices. Try to connect us, let us know, think about it, and then get back to us and see how we can build that connection. And that's it for me. Thank you guys. Now, welcoming Amy. Sorry, Amy, I didn't have that part of the script.
I'm just right? Good. Fantastic. I just want to make sure I was like, this is all I'm being asked to do, right? Hold on a second.
was fact-checking myself. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. One of the things that I'm a lifelong Ohioan, and I love it here, and I'm excited to have you all in this state that I love so much. And I hope that you're all enjoying it. I've heard some people do some confirmation bias on my behalf, telling me that Cleveland just feels so welcoming immediately, and I go, I know. The whole state's like that, except for Cincinnati. No, I'm kidding. That's an Ohio joke. I'm incredibly excited to introduce our keynote. When I was asked to come on to chair the Cleveland conference, I was really excited to focus on Cleveland artists, Cleveland educators, Cleveland change makers, people who live here, work here, and really fuel the work here. And I have a wonderful group of humans who have served as my conference committee who are living, working, and making change here. And almost in like one voice, they told me who I should ask to be our keynote. And actually, I was, and now that I've been introduced, I can't not see her work crop up everywhere, it seems, and it's exciting. So it seems like now, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. If you've not yet had a chance to open your Sketch app and read her biography, unless she's interested in doing it herself, Nina's biography is astonishing in and of itself. If you just read it slowly to yourself, that in and of itself is an inspiring act. But I will not take more of her time because what she has to offer is going to be extraordinary. I'd like to introduce Nina Domingue.
I come to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Lucille Clifton. I got 2 words to teach you today. I say I go, you say I may. I got 2 words to teach you today. I say I go, you say I may. I got 2 words to teach you today. I say I go, you say I may. I got 2 words to teach you today. I say I go, you say I go. keep up, because y'all gonna learn today. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do first is tell you a little bit about what a griot is. You ready? Yes. All right. See, a griot is a storyteller, a keeper of history, an alchemizer of the present, and an imagineer of the future, a master in the art of eloquence. Without us, your mama's mama, and your mama's mama's names would all be forgotten. Your daddy's too, we can't forget about them. You see, history ain't no mystery as long as you know the story. And the future ain't nothing but the baby of the past. So you better present yourself and pay attention. You heard me? Now sometimes, when I'm talking, my voice might change a little bit. And that's just the ancestors and them coming through to say their piece, so don't be scared. And I might talk in a way that some say don't sound proper. Make you say it sounds strange. But I'm here to tell you that if it's coming out my mouth, it's proper. But who are they to tell me with my whole beautiful self what I am or what I ain't? They gotta learn to adapt to where they at. And where you at is where you are. And if you want to be somewhere else, you gotta learn how to get there and do the work. Now here's the work. You paying attention. Some stories, you're not gonna get the lesson too straight out. They like a good gumbo. You gotta let them simmer for 3 to 6 hours, and baby, the next day, woo, it's even better, yeah? Now this story, some of y'all probably heard, because this dude is famous for real. I mean, his name is Anansi. Yeah, I know. Who heard of Anansi before? Yeah, y'all know Anansi. Mm-hmm. And he got kind of a bad rep, because people call him a trickster. Now, I don't know if it's because he tricked you or because the magic got pulled out of you so you can't believe what you're seeing. Either way, you're going to learn about him today. Now, it runs in his family, and you know how families do. Sometimes stuff, everybody got a piece. He got this one cousin, the coyote out west, and he real wild. It's this parrot, papagayo out Brazil way. That dude is loud, and that is saying a lot coming from me. He got this other cousin, a rabbit, named Zolo. But some people call him Brer, and some people call him Bugs. But that's another story for another day. Now, Nancy, though, that boy was clever. So this is the story of how Anansi got God to give him all of the stories. Back in the day, Earth was real boring. Boring. People went to school, people went to work, people went home. That's it. Boring. But in heaven, baby, they was having a good old time, and Anansi peeped that, yeah. So he decided he was going to ask God to give him some stories to tell people on earth so they could have a good time. So he turned himself into a spider so he could move faster, climb straight up God's tree where God liked to sit. Now God is God. So God saw Anansi coming, and he said to everyone in heaven, this ought to be good. Anansi is always up to something. Anansi, my friend, what can I do for you this fine morning? Not much. I was just, wondering if it would kind of be possible that maybe from God. Y'all done. I mean, because you know, I can't really afford to buy anything from the being who created everything. Oh, I know. But we were just having some fun announcing. I must admit, you do entertain us quite a bit. So, what I will do is give you a series of impossible tests. If you pass them, then I will give you the stories. And let me tell y'all, they cracked up laughing all over again. Because at that time, no man had passed a test given by God. Okay, Anansi, you must bring me the python, the cougar, and the wind fairy. And before you even ask, yes, I need you to bring them here to me. Okay. Okay, now, I see you. It's not going to be easy for you, boy, but I know y'all like to be entertained, so watch me work. And with that, Anansi traveled back down to earth and started putting together his plan. First, he went to where Python lived and stirred up a little debate with all of his neighbors. He said that Python was not longer than a palm branch. I am telling y'all, this dude is not longer than a palm branch. I keep telling my wife, he might be longer than that stick, he might be longer than that bush, but ain't no way he's longer than a palm branch. Y'all tripping. Anansi, what is all this ruckus about? Python, now these dudes trying to tell me that you longer than a palm branch. Now I'm trying to tell them that's not even something we can find out, because you know, you always curled up like an S and everything. You would have to lay straight, and then we would have to measure you. And I don't even think it's worth all of that, because it's not even important. Y'all need to worry about none of this. Just go on and, you know, enjoy your day. Anansi, I would actually like to know. I've never been measured. It is a curious question. Oh, word? All right, well, let me set it up then. Well, baby, let me tell you. Because Python can't really make himself straight the way Anansi said, Anansi convinced him to let him tie his tail, his belly, and his neck to the palm branch. And then he stirred up the debate once more. Okay, here we are. I can't tell. I mean, I think they might be the same. What y'all think? Well, I mean, are we counting his head? Because I think we have to count his head. It's a part of his body. I think we need to get an outside eye to settle this debate. My man, Python, I know the one person who can help us settle this beyond the shadow of a doubt. And with that, Anansi brought Python up to God's street, baby. Let me tell you, all of heaven sucked in their breath. They were shocked when they saw Anansi stroll into heaven with that python attached to a palm branch. Here we are, Python. God, Your Excellency, sir, can you help us settle this little debate? Which is longer, the python or the palm branch? Well. Anansi, I see what you have done. The python is indeed longer. Python, would you like to stay for a little refreshment? All of heaven agreed that Python was indeed longer than the palm branch. God winked at Anansi and said, and perhaps, Anansi, I will see you later on today or early tomorrow. I know you have some other business to attend to. Nah, you funny. So business, okay. Y'all heard that? Okay, I guess I'm gonna go handle my business. So Anansi went on about his business, and he decided to go after the cougar next. He was thinking about it real hard. He knew he had to get the python first because at least he could see him. And cougar was quick. I mean, quick wasn't even the word, he was fast. He figured if he could catch someone as fast as the cougar, then he could figure out how to get that wind fairy, because even though he was clever, he wasn't crazy. He knew he had to plan, had to use some wisdom and some good old common sense. So with that, he went home to take a nap. I come to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Bill Ransom, ladies and gentlemen. So find out where to sit and get ready to shift. Now this is how you, let me go back. Hold on, we don't went too fast. Where'd it go? Hold on, we missing a slide. That's all right. Well, we just gonna keep going, because it is Mercury retrograde, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. My name is pronounced Domingue. Think lemon meringue, okay? I want you to be able to say it right. It's not Dominique, it's not Dominguez. Those are lovely names, but they ain't mine, okay? I want you to know how to say it, because it's basic respect to say someone's name proper. And here's the first lesson. Cite Black women. That's all y'all got? Ooh, this gonna be a hard day. It's gonna be a hard day. That's all right, though. That's all right. Listening is the act of receiving the meaning that someone else makes of their own words. The definitions that we have of words are experiential. What matters is that we are listening to the meaning that people are making of the words that they are using. Language is created for us to receive each other well. Tori Reed, teacher, writer, activist. So I will be defining things the way that I use them throughout, and I hope that you are able to listen, that is to say, receive them the way that I am using them, as it comes from my experience, and I hope that you receive them well. That is the hope. However, it's important to understand that I am a daughter of Toni Morrison, Toni Cade Bambara, Ntozake Shange, Octavia Butler, Alice Walker, Pearl Clay, Lorraine Hansberry, the Combahee River Collective, Audre Lorde, Adrienne Marie Brown, Langston Hughes, Marie Laveau, August Wilson, N.K. Jemison, LeVar Burton, Fannie Lou Hamer, Toussaint Louverture, Marcus Garvey, Lucille Clifton, Nikki Giovanni, Paul Laurence Dunbar, James Baldwin, and so many others, but not to be forgotten, and to be perfectly clear, Malcolm X. So while it is the hope that you receive it well, if you do not, I do not care. The theme of this year's conference is Stages of Change, embracing the dualities of progress and tradition. Oh, y'all mean St. Paul? Oh, y'all mean Afrofuturism? Y'all mean the stuff black folk have been doing since the beginning of time? St. Kofa, to go back and fetch it, represented as a bird, flying forward the present, with its head turned backward, honoring the past with an egg in its mouth, representing the future, the idea in African cosmology that past, present, and future exist simultaneously. That those elevated ancestors who have left this plane are still active in our lives through wisdom and traditions that they left, expecting that as we build, we will honor them and their sacrifice without getting stuck. Expecting that as we build and as we teach the young ones, we will learn as much from them as we teach. And Afrofuturism, think, Wakanda. Wakanda. When we visit ancestors through root work and conjure ceremony while using skin-thin armor made of vibranium and the latest technology to save the world again. Where nature and technology are in concert with one another, not competition. That's what y'all want to talk about. Good, because that's my jam. Life imitates art and art imitates life. Now it is Leo season, and yesterday was my birthday. So, can I talk my shit for just a little bit? Because they said I could cuss. Okay. Sorry, auntie, my auntie here, y'all. You just don't have to forgive me. All right. Now, I have been working in the theater since I was 15 years old. And when I say working, I mean paid professionally for my work. That's an important detail to know for a little black girl from Lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans East, who stood in food stamp and wig lines with my daddy and my sister after my mama died because the public health system she worked within failed her. So I can boast, at 49 years young, that I have 30 years experience, professional experience in this field. 3 separate times over the course of my career, I have been in a supervisory or senior position to young men, 10 to 15 years my junior, with 1 degree less than me, and they started at the salary I had to work up to. Or they made $10,000 to $15,000 more than me while I was their supervisor and accountable for their work and mistakes. I go, Amen. 3 times over the course of my career. I have performed all over this country, off Broadway, overseas. I have had awards invented for me. There was one season, y'all, they couldn't decide which show did that girl do that was the best, so they gave me an award for the whole damn season. I have taught over 30,000 students in the course of my career. I have an entire generation of babies in this city who call me mom, come to my house for holidays, now have children of their own and are teaching artists in their own right. And I found out today one of them got a job that I'm so happy about. I have worked at almost every theatrical education program in the city, almost all. I've helped them improve, receive awards, and for damn sure receive money because of my name, work ethic, ideas, creativity, integrity, love of this art, and love of children. And it's because of all that work and all that other stuff I see that I was recommended by 2 amazing women with their own impressive careers to stand before you today. Jenna and Carrie, where are you? Stand up. There she goes. Thank you. Thank you. Cite all women, but cite black women especially. All that sounds amazing, right? It is. And yet I stand before you unemployed. I'm cool. Don't worry about it. All that sounds amazing. I was the first Black woman to ever sit on season planning. I was the first Black woman to ever be full-time artistic or education staff in its storied history. That was in the 2000s, please be clear. I worked under 4 different artistic directors at that theater. Every single one of them came to see everything I performed, everything I wrote, everything I directed, would sit in the front row, make sure I saw them, seek me out after the show, and talk to me about the importance of my work. And never cast me on their main stage, because I do not have a New York City area code. I am not unique in that experience. In fact, I was doing what they call the important work in the community. This is the story of so many Black and brown artists in this industry. We are the face of the theater in the community, the very lifeblood of what keeps the theater going. Doing the important work in the community, because after all, if we don't do it, who will? If we don't teach our own babies, who will? The paradox of that situation is that the important community work is always on the opposite schedule of the artistic schedule. And so these passionate artists who are the face of the theater, the lifeblood of the theater, fall out of practice of the very thing they love. And if there is a moment at some institution where some leader makes a way, opens a pathway, grants access, so that those artists doing that important work in the community can get an opportunity, we are burned out. We are out of practice. And we are working twice as hard to get half as far, carrying our entire ethnicity on our back, because if we mess this up, no one else will get this opportunity again. And it happens this way, and has happened this way for so long, it's tradition. And we are always, and I do mean always, the canary in the coal mine. I was the first Black woman to graduate from my graduate program in 2002. I was the first person ever to write a solo show for my thesis. Again, twice as much. Because I had to be put through my paces as a playwright first. And the script had to be deemed thesis worthy. And then I could perform it and write the book about the process. I was the first Black woman to be on another stage here for the first time in 12, 15 years. Again, in the 2000s. And baby, they were excited to have me play the hustler, the maid, the pretty wife who doesn't speak, and the floozy of the forest, like they were doing me a damn favor. And wasn't I excited to be the first again? The answer is no, in case you wonder. No, I'm not excited to be the first for the 15th time in my life. My daddy had me read James Baldwin, The Price of the Ticket, when I was 12 years old. Y'all know how big that book is. He had me read Not Without Laughter by James Baldwin. He had me read The Spook Who Sat by the Door. He had me read everything Toni Morrison just dropped out of her storied pen. Started when I was 12. He taught me and my sister that we were often going to be the smartest in the room. He taught me and my sister that we would often be considered the prettiest in the room because we had light skin. But see, God don't like ugly, and he ain't too fond of pretty, and pretty is as pretty does. So he also taught us that because we were operating in light skin privilege, because we were operating in educational privilege, having two parents who went to college, because we were operating in seemingly heteronormative privilege, because we were operating in seemingly able-bodied privilege, that it was our job, once we got in the door, to take it off by the hinges, make copies of the keys, maps and blueprints, and if we figured out that it was unsafe for our people to be there once we were inside, to burn it down. So, when we speak about changing tradition, which ones have you been upholding? Is it really the way we make theater? Or is it so much deeper than that? It is a curious question. In her book, The Salt Eaters, there you go, Hannah's. Oh, look, they out of order, y'all. That's how you say my name, that's how you spell it. There go Tori. Here go Tony. All right. In her book, The Salt Eaters, Tony K. Bambara's character, Minnie, asks, "Are you sure, sweetheart, that you want to be well? A lot of weight when you're well? Just so you're sure, sweetheart, and ready to be healed, because wholeness is no trifling matter." It's on you, bro. So now, Anansi was working on the second test. He had to bring God the cougar. Cougar was always running, y'all. He was too fast to catch and too agile to trip. But Anansi knew cougar didn't always pay attention. He was a little bit of a show-off. And with that in mind, Anansi got to work. What he did was dig this series of holes all along the path that cougar ran every morning. And the first holes were really obvious, even if you weren't paying too much attention. And he knew cougar would see them and just hop on over. He knew he would slip right across. But he also knew that cougar would be so busy showing off that he wouldn't even stop to think about where those holes came from all of a sudden. The last hole was the biggest. He carefully disguised it with a web of vines. He used the leaves to cover those vines, and he had everything finished right on time for Cougar's morning run. He woke up just in time to hear the sounds of the crowd cheering. Cougar, you really something else, man. I don't know how you do it. You don't even have to look. Everyone says you're the fastest runner in town. Oh, Nancy, you know, I'm just doing what I do when I'm doing what I'm doing when I'm doing. Come on, man. You know you're the best. Well, you know, what can I say? And Cougar jumped and ran, and leaped and ran, and flipped right into the biggest hole that Anansi had dug in the ground. Everyone in town gasped. It's almost like Cougar disappeared into thin air. Help! Hey! Help me! I'm all tangled up. I can't figure out how to get out of here. Man, these vines are, oh, come on. This is terrible. Hey, everyone, back up a minute. Let me see if I can figure this out. I bet if we pull on this vine I found, we can pull him up out of this hole. And so Anansi convinced the strongest people in town to help him lift Cougar out of that hole. And they tried to get him out, and the vines only succeeded in getting into a bigger and bigger and bigger tangled mess. What they did not know was that Anansi was an expert knot maker. And he had designed that web in such a way that the harder you pulled, the tighter the knots became. Every time they pulled, Cougar got squished smaller and smaller and smaller in that web. Finally, wait, everybody. I think I know what to do. Cougar, I'm gonna bring you to the one person I know who can get you out of this. You wanna go? Yeah, man, come on. And so, Anansi carried Cougar right on up to God's tree. And all of heaven marveled again. Anansi. Well. I see you have brought a visitor. Yeah, Your Excellency, sir. We need your assistance. I mean, you being all powerful and all, could you help us untie these knots? Cougar seems to have fallen into a hole in the woods. We don't even know where it came from. Of course. I would be happy to assist. And Cougar, you can join us for some refreshments before you return to town. Anansi, I know you have much thinking to do. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Wow. That's just so generous. I don't know what to say. Everybody else get refreshment around here. I don't get no refreshment. All right, I guess I'm going to go think a little while longer. Your Excellency, sir. Are you sure, sweetheart, that you want to be well? A lot of weight when you're well, just so you're sure, sweetheart, and ready to be healed. Because wholeness is no trifling matter. When I hear the word community, I think about crawfish etouffee and seafood boil, second lines in Momo's kitchen. Neighbors yelling, you better not do that before I call your mama in there. The candy lady down the street, fire hydrants open in the summer, jump rope songs, and sassy little girls who know all the latest dances. Boys hooping in their driveway and dancing at the second line to express their grief when their cousins died again. I think about people stopping whatever they are doing when a dirge is played and joining. Because the second line is not just about footwork in a jazz band, it is a funeral rite. The purpose is to help the dearly departed elevate and cross over so that they don't get stuck in this God-forsaken place where white supremacists, child molesters, and convicted felons are openly elected into office by people who smile in my face while praying for me and my children's death. But I've come to understand that when institutions use the word community, they mean where the money resides, where the money resides. So they can give voice to the voiceless. How very fucking dare you? No community that I have ever served or worked within is voiceless. And it is arrogant narcissism to believe that you are giving anyone a voice. We may be placing a mic in their hand. We may be turning on the amp so other people can hear them better. But giving them a voice? How dare you? We have stories. We have a voice. We have genius and gifts, and we always have. Every ism and phobia is a distraction. See, it does distract. distracted me so much, I forgot about the slides, y'all. Toni Morrison said, the function, the very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being. Somebody says you have no language and you spend 20 years proving that you do. Somebody says your head isn't properly shaped, so you have scientists working on the fact that it is. Somebody says you have no art, so you dredge that up. Somebody says you have no kingdoms, so you dredge that up. None of this is necessary. And all the while you are being distracted from your work. And what is actually truth about all isms and phobias is that in order to uphold them, you must live in a state of cognitive dissonance. Black people have been called lazy, shiftless, dirty, violent, unskilled, and hypersexed since we were kidnapped, tortured, raped, and dragged into this place, which we subsequently built for you. But if I'm dirty, why come you hire me to clean your house? If I'm lazy, how is it that I upheld the industries of cotton, coffee, rice, sugarcane, and indigo on my back, working hundreds of acres of land for hundreds of years? My grandparents, not my great, not my great-great, not my great-great-great, my grandparents were sharecroppers in Louisiana. The same grandparents whose laps I sat on, who wiped my tears when my mother died, with those same hands picked cotton and used a cutlass to chop sugarcane. With those same hands, they put 7 children through college, even though they only had 3rd grade educations themselves because they had to quit school to go work in the field. I will honor them till the day I die. I am teaching my children to honor them after I die. My other grandparents were entrepreneurs and educators. All 4 of my grandparents were known wherever they went for their kindness. That is the legacy I walk in. But they were also known for their intelligence. And the one thing that I have been smart enough to learn from them is being kind is not the same as being nice. Sometimes the kindest thing I can do for you is tell you the hard truth. So if you think me arrogant for listing my pedigree during this speech, I don't care. Because I will honor them. Theola, Themensula, Leonard James, Iona, Catherine, and Paul Blaine, and my parents, Felisa Jane and Gregory Allen, all now ancestors. So no, just so we clear, I am not grateful to once again be the first anything, because I earned it, brick by brick, and I owe them to tell the stories of our community and burn this foolishness down from the inside out. Here is, let's see, they got to order. There you go. Okay. We'll go back to them in a minute. Here's a short list of what you can do, because people always say, what can we do after you give this kind of speech? Cite Black women. Cite everybody. If it's their idea, give them credit. It ain't that hard, y'all. It's just ain't. If they said it, say they said it. It takes nothing from you to say this idea isn't mine. But let me tell you where I heard it, and this is a good idea, and this is why. And I'm going to prove it to you. Shakespeare doesn't have a single original plot. Not in the entire canon. And we hold him up, or them, because we still don't know who it really is. as the genius that we must all pass. Every single play that is attributed to Shakespeare is based on someone else's poem, fairy tale, play, or a historical event. He didn't come up with not one of them ideas himself. He expanded them, but the original idea was not his, and it does not hurt you to give credit where it's due. 2, pay people what they are worth and pay them on time. Not 30 to 45 days later. In no other industry is that foolishness accepted. I wish you would tell your doctor that you're not going to give them their copay and their insurance and ask them to perform whatever surgery you need, especially now. Pay people, pay them on time. Stop taking advantage of young talent and setting them up for failure because you are unwilling to pay experienced talent for what they bring to the table. Ain't nobody dumb. No, don't nobody in this town want to pay me because they know what I'm worth. But they're going to pay this little 22-year-old to try to do the same thing and then call me and ask me if I was meant to you guide me. I saw my auntie, so I helped him out. All right. 3, say my name. Put the name of the teaching artist who created the curriculum on the published material. What a concept! One of my gifts is being able to see afar off what is coming. And there was a program that I helped to create here. And at the time, I was an independent contractor. This was before I got hired as the first Black woman to ever be. And before I would sign it, I felt, and I don't care what y'all think, I felt a physical tap on my shoulder saying, don't do that. Read it again. And I asked the director of education at that theater to add a clause. I said, I understand that I did not receive financial residual from this. I understand, according to my contract, that I am creating this work for the theater. However, I want to retain right of authorship. I want my name on it. Because when I die, my 5 heartbeats get no piece of this theater. But what they do get is my legacy. Put my name on it. I was a part of the conversation that dreamed up that program. I was the teaching artist who single-handedly tested it on 2,000 students by myself. I was the one who kept the logs. I was the one who dealt with that administration and the teachers and held those babies when they cried. Put my name on it. And she said, yeah, I don't know why we don't do that. We've just always done it this way. That program went on to be funded by the U.S. Department of Education and create 16 full-time jobs. Put my name on it, because I'll be goddamned if the only name on here is theater. And now, it is policy at that theater that every teaching artist that creates something, their name is on it. And let me tell y'all something real, this is high-key a life hack. That's a change y'all can make today. You don't even have to have a meeting. Four, ask yourself the question, is it good for the children? This is a question that I learned that the Hopi Indigenous Council asks every time a major decision must be made for the community. After they have weighed all of the important things and heard all of the adults' ideas, the final question that determines what they will do is it good for the children? Because until the most vulnerable of us is free, none of us are. And who is the most vulnerable? The dark-complexioned, immigrant, disabled trans girl. When she is safe, then the rest of us are. When all of the children in Sudan, Haiti, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Gaza are safe, then we are. When the children of the Lower Ninth Ward and St. Clair and 105 are safe, then we are. And not 1 minute before. I came here to tell you the truth. And that's it. I mentioned earlier, now we're going to go back, that I'm a child of Malcolm X, or more correctly, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz. When we hear the name of the one who Ossie Davis called our shining black manhood at his funeral, a lot of words come to mind. And I know for most people they think, by any means necessary. A lot of people think violence because he was upheld as the opposite of Martin, who, by the way, was always surrounded by armed men, which should not surprise you. But it seems to, because, I don't know, people think that it is somehow ridiculous for me to defend myself against someone who is trying to do violence. See, let me help y'all. I'm Gen X. Okay, we were the last generation to fight with our hands. Okay? We were raised on tap water out the hose and dare and how to be a street smart kid, and parents working from 6 in the morning to 7 at night. We raised our damn selves a lot of the time. When we say, meet me outside, it is not a cute phrase. It means you're about to get your ass beat. Because we know and have counted the cost of bruised knuckles meeting flesh. We know it takes more courage to look someone in the eye, cock back and rock their jaw instead of letting them hit you. We know it takes more courage to do that than to let a piece of metal do our work. It takes more courage to do that than to type something on your keyboard and send it into the ether while you hide safely inside your house. We know the very real cost of speaking up inside an industry that boasts liberalism, community, allyship, diversity, equity, and inclusion, but only if it's comfortable for the people in charge. See, earlier I said I'm unemployed. So be clear. You are receiving the wisdom you're getting from me today because I'm getting paid for it. Woo! Thank y'all for paying me on time, by the way. The cost of eggs is high, and I got 5 kids, okay? But back to Malcolm. The genius of Malcolm, the very real genius of Malcolm, is that whatever he understood to be the truth, he followed it 100% when he was Malcolm Little, watching the KKK burn down his home, watching his mother being taken into custody by an institution that he knew did not have her best interest at heart. He was Malcolm Little 100%. When he was known as Detroit Red, he was not simply a gangster, he was the gangster. When he converted to Islam, he wasn't simply Fruit of Islam or a minister, he became the voice for the Nation of Islam. And as the Holy Quran teaches, he made Hajj to Mecca, because it said every man that is able should do so. And when he got there, he saw Muslims of every ethnicity and understood that what the Nation of Islam had taught him was not the fullness of the beauty of the religion he had converted to. He incorporated that and changed again. The traditions that he upheld, love of his people, an unyielding commitment to integrity, and the ability to let change happen when it was necessary. That's my daddy. Let me tell y'all something about theater people. Hold on. We love a meeting. And then we love to have a meeting about the meeting we had. And then we love to have another meeting about the future meetings we're going to need to set up to meet. If y'all don't get up and do something. Let me finish this story. All right. Here we go. Where you at, Nancy? There you go. All right. And with that, Nancy returned home to think about how he was going to capture the wind fairy. When he was thinking about the python, he knew that the snake was curious and would not be able to resist a puzzle. When he was thinking about cougar, he knew that he was an entertainer and wouldn't be able to resist showing off. So what was it about the wind fairy? What challenge would be too hard for her to resist? And then he remembered. She loved the laughter of children because it sounded like music. And so Anansi got an idea. The next day he got up and went to work. He fashioned the doll and covered it with sticky, sticky syrup. He waited until the children were playing, and then he placed the doll behind a tree. Sure enough, the wind fairy showed up and created a breeze to make the children laugh. And then she saw the doll and thought it was a child that the breeze hadn't reached. So she made a stronger breeze. Still nothing. So then she went up to the doll and tapped it on the shoulder. Well, y'all know what happened, right? She got stuck. Oh no! Let me go. You don't hear me talking to you. Where is your mama? And of course, Anansi was nearby. Hey, fairy. What's happening? You hear me talking to you? What's going on? And then the fairy tried to pull her hand away, and the other hand got stuck. Help! Fairy, I think I know how to help you. This week has been something else. It's just been one calamity after another. But you know, I happen to know someone who's probably the only person who can get us out of this mess. I'm going to have to make a web so I don't get stuck too. Is that okay? Okay, fine, please. I can't be stuck like this forever. And with that, Anansi created a web and carried the wind fairy and the doll up to heaven. And everyone was amazed again. Anansi had completed yet another impossible task. But what did I tell y'all? That boy was clever. Well, Anansi. I see you have come to visit us again, and you have a guest. Yeah. It seems like the wind fairy got stuck to the doll and can't get free. And, knowing that you are the most powerful being that ever was, I thought you could give us some assistance. I will be happy to help you. And please, fairy, do stay and have some refreshments before you journey home. Anansi, why don't you and I take a little walk? And God winked at Anansi, and they began walking through heaven. And God was very, very quiet. And Anansi was starting to get really, really anxious. And so finally he said, God, we we gonna talk or we gonna keep taking the garden tour through heaven? Oh, Anansi, you make me laugh. What is it that you would like to discuss? Well, I mean, you said if I brought you the python and the cougar and the fairy that you were gonna give me some stories to share because Earth is so boring. Indeed, I did. Well, I don't have them. Don't you? Tell me, Anansi, how did you capture the python? Well, let me tell you. So I started this debate with his neighbors, right, about what was longer, the python or the palm branch, and then he couldn't resist finding the answer because, you know, he's so curious about everything, and then I got him tied to the stick. Oh. I see what you did there. You tricked me, guys. I can't believe you. Did I? Did I trick you? Or did I give you the adventure of a lifetime that you could tell your children and grandchildren about for generations? Well, technically, I suppose. I mean, you did give me some stories. I just didn't expect it to happen that way. Well, things rarely happen the way that people expect them to. People have everything that they need to entertain themselves. There is no need for your lives to be boring. You have personalities, talent, work, imagination. There is nothing that you cannot have if you simply put your mind to it. You have had the stories all along, Anansi. You simply have to tell them. Well, I guess it ain't that much left for me to say then. Isn't there? Thank you. You are most welcome, Anansi. One more question. Would you like to join us for some refreshment? Man, I thought you were never gonna ask! And that is how Anansi became the keeper of the stories. I hope you'll think about what you learned. We have everything we need to change. We simply have to do it. We simply have to remember how to use it. And yes, be thankful for it. And I'll leave you with this last quote by my favorite author. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. The Books of the Living, Parable of the Sower, Octavia Butler. Every time I call on him for the past 20 years.
Thank you so much, Nina, for that amazing keynote and giving us so many things to consider as we continue to be and make the change. So thank you so much. So you get to deal with the little sultry here. Hi everybody, my name's Olivia. You may have seen me running around the conference. I'm one of the staff members here at AATE. And I get the privilege of interacting with our fantastic exhibitors and vendors who you saw next door and hopefully we're playing bingo with and tic-tac-toe with and drawing mascots of universities. So I look forward to seeing all of your beautiful creations on the bingo cards, which are due tonight, by the way, as a hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But we do have a couple of our sponsors here today who would like to talk and share with you about the wonderful work that they are doing as well out in the world. So the first group I'd like to introduce are Stories That Soar. They are a program within Literacy Connects, based out in Arizona, and they can't wait to share the incredible work that they do with young people. So I'd love to introduce Cindy and Dallas.
Wow, can I take this out? I'm a little close to the ground. I can barely see over this. Hi, everybody. I'm Dallas Thomas. I'm the Director of Arts Integration Programs at Literacy Connects. We're a nonprofit based in Tucson, Arizona, and we're here representing our flagship arts integration program, Stories That Soar. Stories That Soar was born out of the University of Arizona in 2002, and it all begins with our beloved hungry story-eating magic box, all right? So Stories That Soar, oh, there it is, you see right there at the top. And the magic of Stories That Soar begins with that hungry story-eating magic box. And what we do is we amplify youth voice by bringing their original words to life on stage through the artistry of our professional theater ensemble. So this hungry story-eating magic box, it goes into schools and invites kids to feed it their original ideas and their stories. Spelling doesn't matter, grammar doesn't matter. The thing that matters is that they are expressing themselves. And they really seize this opportunity because this isn't an assignment, it's writing for fun. Okay, so once they feed the hungry story-eating magic box, our team reads all of those stories. And then together, our professional ensemble, we devise an hour-long variety show of those stories. And yes, we have those stories that, you know, it's unicorns and it's comedy and all of the things that people associate with youth theater. But we recognize that youth, they are whole people. And they trust the magic box as a safe space. And so they submit stories about any topic under the sun, and we don't shy away from those. We produce an hour-long show that, yes, it has unicorns, yes, it has comedy, but it also has heart, and we don't steer away from the hard stories, and we represent their entire community, because if a student is writing about it, that's part of their life and it's relevant, and that's what we focus on, is presenting their stories back to them and really empowering them. Truly, that's the work that we do. And the Magic Box has eaten over 200,000 stories in the 23 years we have been around. We have been recognized with the Library of Congress as a best practices honoree. And you know, we've over the years, we have teachers reporting, you know, 100% of their students have attitude changes towards writing when the Magic Box is at their school, and they really embrace the opportunity for creative expression, and they start to identify as a writer because they see, okay, my voice matters. These adults bringing this to life on stage, they have something to say. And additionally, teachers report 88% is our latest stats that came in. 88% of the students, their behavior changes. They change how they engage in all aspects of their education, and they are confident, and you know, the payoff is tremendous in terms of just how they view themselves and move through the world. So this, obviously, we've seen tremendous impact over the years, and we were like, hey, you know, I think we can double down and make this even more powerful. And we decided to pilot a program called Stories That Soar High, where we taught our high school students the professional model, and partnered that high school with an elementary school that was a theater elementary. And so the high school students, they're learning collaborative skills, they are devising and really stretching themselves creatively. And they're giving back to the elementary school that most of them attended. And we've been doing Stories That Soar High for a little over a decade now. And we've had the amazing pleasure of working with students that are now in high school that actually have their stories performed when they were in elementary school. And when they were in elementary school, they were like, they saw those high school students and they're like, that's me one day. And we actually have had some high school students come that they said they decided to do theater in high school because their story was performed, and it was so special and meaningful to them that they wanted to give back and participate in theater when they were in high school so that they could be a part of the Magic Box and amplifying those youth voices. We received an amazing gift that is allowing us to scale our curriculum for STS High nationally, and that's where the wonderful Cindy LaFries comes into the picture. She is our national project manager, and I'll let her tell you guys a little bit more about Stories at Soar High and where things are headed.
Thank you, Dallas. We are so excited to share this work. It's very inspiring, as Dallas stated, with high school students and connecting them with elementary students. And we also, in addition to that, that's something that we can do anywhere in the country now. We had our first pilot program of bringing Stories That Soar to the college and university setting with our good friends at Coastal Carolina University, Stephen Higginbotham and Rosalie Pena. We are going to be presenting about this tomorrow at a panel at 2:30, so if you want to join us. And we'll be hosting a workshop about devising and collaborative play development through devising at 12:45, so we would love for you to join us. If you want to know more information about our programs, if you're interested in finding ways to get involved in the community, this is our first time at AATE. We went all in. We're just so excited to share and be a part of the conversation. Make sure to stop by the exhibitor booth or scan the QR code, and we'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow at our workshop and panel. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And also, I will also say my admin saw them at our state festival and said, "We're doing that." So, funny little anecdote there. Our next sponsor is T&D Musicals. And I'm so excited to introduce you to Terry Boyanowski and Amy Wazinski. They're a Cleveland-based musical theater licensing company, which is really exciting to be able to host them here in their town. So tonight at 7 p.m., right next door in the exhibitor hall, we are going to have a reading circle where they're going to be sharing excerpts of music from their shows and an exclusive preview of a show that's going to be released for licensing very soon. So we are going to be the first people to some of the first people to preview this work. So I'm excited to introduce you to Terry and Amy.
Pardon our notes, we didn't want to forget one thing, so we've got some notes here. So I'm Amy, and this is my mother, Terry. We are from T&D Musicals, and we are a family-owned, operated licensing company. We're excited to introduce our T&D Legacy Musical Collection, a growing library of musicals, many inspired by classical literature, and your audiences might already know and love some of these. T&D Musicals' commitment centers on making professionally produced works accessible at a modest cost. And here's why.
In the middle of our teaching careers, yes, we were teachers too, music and theater, both. My husband Daryl and I toured Daryl's musicals to 26 states for 5 years, right in the middle of our career. And then for another 5 years, managed a regional theater. We produced 39 musicals with a full-time year-round cast. These are my husband's musicals. We also created a young actors internship program and included roles for community actors as well. A Premier Playhouse, a regional theater in Columbus, Ohio, was led by artistic director Dale Boyanowski, who wrote and composed the book, music, and lyrics for those 39 musicals in his Legacy collection. All 39 shows were produced at the Playhouse. T&D Musicals licenses these musicals. Our success with the Playhouse musical started, Daryl and I, on our own Act 2, which is licensing Daryl's shows. As retired music and theater educators, we understand firsthand how tight arts budgets can be. That's why, I'm sorry, it's more than me. That's why our goal at T&D Musicals is to offer affordable licensing, so you can dedicate more of your resources to bringing your production to life. That's really important.
So you'll find the T&D Musicals postcard in your conference bag, so be sure to take a look. There's also a QR code so you can subscribe and find out more information or be notified when new musicals are released, as they are being released regularly. So here's what sets T&D Musicals apart. The libretto vocal book. with fully integrated script and lead sheets. No flipping to the back of the book to try to find where's the song, where to go, where's the song.
I see some heads nodding.
Always so frustrating to take the time to get to the back. What else?
My whole career, I must have directed maybe 70 or more musicals, and I always wondered why they did that. I always thought that didn't make any sense. You know, you're reading your scene and you go, oh, my music. Okay, I know. We also use a full conductor score, again from my personal experience. Not just cues or piano reductions. I don't want the piano vocal score. I want the full conductor score, right? They deserve that. We also make a custom promotional video trailer created with your cast photos and show information. So that takes that job away from you. We put it together and send it right back to you. You can start advertising your show. We have an online preview of the entire libretto vocal book and demo tracks. If you want to try to decide what show you want to do, you want to see it right away. So we have it online at a really international music distributor that maybe some of you know, J.W. Pepper. And that's the place you can see our musicals anytime. You can hear a 5-minute demo, music from the shows. So they're there all the time. You don't need to have any perusal.
We offer digital delivery of all production materials. So, no taking hours and hours of erasing so that you can send the scripts back. Not necessary here with T&D Musicals. The pre-populated candidate program template to streamline your playbill and make it just to whatever your show is and your community.
That takes time too. We also have MP3 orchestra performance tracks. They're included. We all want live orchestras. I'm almost sure we all would rather have that, but sometimes you really just need to have the tracks. We have shows that have from 8 orchestra people, all the way up to 16. So, you know, we have a range of small to large orchestra seating, but we also have the performance tracks in case that's something you need. Our pricing is simple and pretty transparent, I would say. All T&D musicals are licensed exclusively to accredited educational theaters for just $450 to $550 per production, with no additional fees. That's it. For one run of your show, $450 to $550, depending on whether it's a small cast or a large cast. And I can speak as a retired music and theater teacher. We're committed to keeping high-quality musicals affordable and accessible for schools and educators. That's important.
Since our launch in 2022, we've released 11 of the 39 musicals of the Legacy Collection, and we are thrilled to announce tonight the 12th title at the 7 p.m. Play Reading Circle. So if you'll join us tonight, you'll hear about what number 12 is. And it's a pretty popular one for next year, I can just tell you that. That's a hint. that's a little hint, a preview of what it is. So be sure to visit us at licensingmusicals.com, subscribe so that you can be notified to find out the next musical on the horizon.
Thank you very much.
All right, finally, I'd like to introduce Robbie Steiner, who is here with Ludus to talk about all of the amazing things that they can do for us theater educators.
Hi, everybody. My name is Robbie. I am originally from Indiana, but currently based in New York City. But I work with Ludus, which was founded about 10 years ago by a former high school theater teacher and his student. The high school theater teacher had a sense of what educators really needed and wanted from a ticketing platform. And the student was and is a software whiz. And so the combined forces of those two created a really fantastic company and product that even as Ludus has grown, there are over 4,000 schools and theaters that use Ludus at this point. It is still very much rooted in education and really trying to be there for folks that are in the trenches. I'm a former high school theater teacher myself, and I wish that I had POTUS when I was teaching, because it would have made my life much, much easier. It is a very simple, easy to use platform. It's very accessible, and it's also free to use. We only make money on credit card processing. So if you're doing a free show, if you're doing comp tickets, if you are doing cash sales, anything like that, we don't make any money on that. We just want it to be available. So we charge a small fee for credit card processing. We use that to pay the credit card fees on your behalf, and that's it. So it's very accessible, very easy to use. But in addition to ticketing, we've built in all these wonderful features that are great for school theater programs, anywhere from there all the way up through colleges and even into professional organizations. So we've got a volunteer management system that's kind of like a sign-up Genius, but designed for the arts. We have fundraising. We just implemented, as so many organizations are losing grant funding right now, we wanted to do something to help out. So we just implemented a 0% processing fee for fundraisers. So you can literally do a fundraiser through us and keep all of those funds that come in. We don't charge any fees on those, which can be super helpful. We can do collections for things that go beyond ticketing, class registrations. We just implemented a new retail feature for concessions and for merch sales. So it's a lot of stuff all in one place, super easy to use. And we also don't do any contracts or annual fees, anything like that. So it is truly a company that puts its money where its mouth is. That we are here for theater educators and for the broader theater community. No matter the size of your operation, if you are one person putting on a show and just need a way to sell your tickets, or if you are running a massive theater company or anywhere in between, we are here for you. So I'll be around in the expo, and I'm happy to chat if you have any questions. But it's always energizing for me as a former educator to get to be in an environment like this, and so I love continuing to support the work that all of you are doing, and happy to be doing that on behalf of POTUS. So thanks so much for having me and for listening, and I'm around if you have any questions.
And I just want to say one more final thank you to all of our exhibitors who are here this week to help us learn about ways to make our jobs, our very heavy jobs, efficient, and things to make our worlds better and easier, and also for the folks who help make this conference happen. It's been really huge. Like, my university's here, Sco Bears, so we've got a lot of great people to go see. So yes, please sure to go fill out that bingo sheet tonight. Tomorrow we are doing what I'm calling a geocache scavenger hunt. So I'm going to be placing an AATE sticker somewhere on site on the 6th and 7th floor. And some of our interns and exhibitors are going to have a clue to piece together a riddle to find the sticker. The first person to show us at registration a selfie with that sticker is going to win a free year subscription to AATE. I know, we're all about the prizes here. And then Thursday, for those of you who've been here before, we are bringing the exhibitor passport back. So some of our exhibitors are very generous and have donated some great, fabulous prizes to win. So tomorrow you'll be getting, or tomorrow and Thursday you'll be getting an exhibitor passport. Okay, Friday and Saturday. There's a day of the week. You'll get a card and then win a prize if you finish the card. So anyway, find us or find me if you have any questions about that. But thank you all so much for being here. And now I'd like to introduce my friend, Dakota D'Amato.
Guys, they didn't tell me about a clicker. They just told me to speak. Okay. Is this the right thing?
Yep.
Is there another thing after this?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ay. Okay, hi. I'm usually more prepared. That's a lie. My name is Dakota D'Amato. I'm the conference manager here at AATE, and I'm so happy y'all are here. I'm here to tell you about exciting things. So if you haven't gotten on the photo circle yet, what you doing with your life? Jonathan Jones sitting on the floor over there is king of the photo circle. He rocks it. So we can't let Jonathan, apparently we're giving a prize, right Alexis? We we can't let Jonathan win the prize. So I need somebody else to get on the photo circle. I don't know how we're picking a prize winner. Alexis, do you? How do you get a prize? What happens? The most photos? Oh my God, I have to count the photos? Oh, okay. So I gotta count the photos, so don't let Jonathan win. Get your photos out there so that we can get a prize. I don't know what the prize is. That QR code is there. It's also in Sked, and there's also a link as well. Next, that's it. Oh, okay, upcoming events. Guys, I was really well versed in this. They told me this last night at 10 o'clock. Okay, so tonight there is Ista and her garden. If you're coming with me to Tailspinner, our meals will be ready in our box lunches next door at 6 o'clock. So make sure you're ready to rock and roll there. We'll meet there, and then we'll all go downstairs, and we have lifts taking us at 6:20 over to Ista's garden. I feel like I've been invited personally to her garden. Okay, next thing is, let's see. There is the playwriting circles in the room next door with TND at 7 o'clock. And then we have the playwriting slam in here at 8 o'clock. But I missed an event because I got so excited. At 6 o'clock, and you've all asked me, Dakota, when is there food? There's food! At the exhibitor meet and greet. Next door at 6. Go get some food. But at 8 o'clock, there will be a cash bar. But you know you can find me or my friend Olivia. We have drink tickets. So cash bar in terms of, you know, whatever you want to take that as. But come to the playwriting slam, and then we start back early tomorrow morning.